Hey, welcome to Cranky Geeks. I'm your host, John C. Dvorak, and this week we're talking about crazy gizmos, also the PS3 riots, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's introduce today's cranks first, starting with Sebastian Ruppli, who is the West Coast editor of PC Magazine and our chief crank and the regular crank, as a matter of fact. Sitting on his right is Annalee Newitz, who's the editor of techsploitation.com. It's her website, which is spelled like it sounds. And finally, Jacob Appelbaum, who is now being, we're calling him the hair ambassador for Monochrome, which is or Monochrome, which is it? Monochrome? Monochrome, which is a something in Austria.
Yes, they're an artist group in Vienna, Austria.
Ah, okay. Or they would say Aquas. PS3 launches amongst riot shootings and armed robbery. The PS3 stories, if you haven't followed it over the last week or so, there's been all these crazy lines, and what everybody does when they, and all the news people are covering all this stuff, and what everybody does is they interview people and everybody says the same thing: I'm online for the last 3 days so I can sell this thing on eBay. Is anybody, Sebastian, buying this thing to actually use it?
Yeah, I don't know if they're buying it to use it. They sure are excited about it for some reason. People are lining up at 3 a.m. to get it. And one guy that was shot at 3 a.m., I remember. And I think this is all turning out to be another way to kind of go after Sony, really. You know, first they messed up the batteries. Now they got this brouhaha happening. It's just a disaster.
It's like the technology of death. You know, if you aren't blown up by your battery, you're going to get shot trying to get
one way or another, somebody's going to come after you.
Or they're going to install a rootkit on your computer when they get a chance.
Oh yeah, totally. A rootkit that explodes, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be the Sony style.
Awesome one, yeah.
Oh yeah, right. A rootkit that catches on fire and shoots you.
Right. A shooter game.
I guess well, Sony's got. Does anybody? We talked about this last week, and obviously everyone's beating this to death because Sony took forever to bring this product out. But is anybody jazzed about it at all? You? No?
I'm not, no. I mean, I've got my Xbox 360, you know, Gears of War. What do I need the freaking PS3
Also, the PS3, the games that I've seen, they look to be just higher resolution and not much more than that. You know, it's not like there's a revolution in the gaming. The Wii games that we showed last week, those are innovative games. I mean, Nintendo does innovative stuff, new stuff.
Well, Nintendo made a point to do that because they knew they weren't going to compete. I mean, right now, the way I see it, in fact, this week's PC Magazine column, I discussed this. I think people will own a Xbox or a PS3, and a Wii. I think that people will have dual consoles at home, or if they just have little kids, or they might just have the Nintendo, nothing else, because you don't necessarily need your 10-year-old to be playing grind-up war games or whatever.
Gears of War rocks. What are you talking about? The full-screen blood splatter? That's great for 10-year-olds.
And so, yeah, I don't think necessily you need that for 10-year-olds, although I'm sure a few of them get a kick out of it.
It could be educational, learn about anatomy of aliens and stuff.
But this is the thing with these two platforms that are just essentially the same thing. I mean, they're both HD, Xbox and Nintendo, and they're all playing the same games now. I mean, maybe the Nintendo's a little quicker on the
I think Sony was really betting on Blu-ray coming through as a popular format and it being a popular format for doing movies and all that, and that has not worked out. You know, the HD DVD versus Blu-ray thing is, in my opinion, the most confusing, ridiculous situation of this year, and that has hurt the PS3.
One thing that's nice about the PS3, though, is that you'll be able to run Linux on it. And so, in theory, you could, I believe they're selling it at a loss, so you can install Linux on it and have a computer that you would not be able to buy for the same price.
Right.
So in another way, you could use that to help bring down Sony, which I think is a noble cause.
Yeah,
So if you can buy a PS3 so that you can install Linux on it and make
Why do you think bringing down Sony is a noble cause?
Well, considering that Sony likes to treat its users like criminals, likes to install rootkits on their computers, and just generally likes to screw consumers, I think that's a really good thing to do. It's just kind of fight back for the users.
And what's your email? I don't care.
I like my Sony Vaio notebook. They make good notebooks.
Yeah, I use Toshiba.
I have a Vaio. It's pretty good.
They're good.
Toshiba's better. YouTube.
Enough said.
YouTube video prompts FBI investigation. Anybody follow this story? The LAPD's under investigation because apparently somebody recorded a guy getting the crap beat out of him, and then they posted. You know, instead of the old days of going to the newspapers, you don't have to do that anymore. No. You just put it on YouTube.
Oh, they just shoot it on there. Somebody's got an MOV file of it from every angle. You know, as soon as it happens.
Well, and it started with the UCLA beating, right, or tasering. There was a guy who, well, there's mixed reports.
One of the longest and worst videos. I have it on my blog, Dvorak.org/blog. You can check it out.
Yeah, it was horribly filmed with
Yes,
the
another
cell phone camera. Yeah,
another
with this
drink.
guy being electrocuted over and over again just for
After he was
refusing
handcuffed.
to leave the library. Basically, well, some people claim he was refusing to leave the library, but yeah, it was
Well,
kind of
I don't know if you saw the long version of this movie.
the
but-
extended play.
Yeah, they went on for about an hour, and people, milling around, and this guy screaming in the background. It's actually quite amusing.
Were they tasering him the whole time?
No, they just tasered him a couple times, but it was like he was. It was hard to figure out. It needed editing.
Yeah.
So
That's the problem. It was a guy with obviously a camera phone or something.
So in reality, though, it was 7 minutes long, and actually the police tasered him after he was handcuffed, and they repeatedly tasered him and told him to stand up after they tasered
Oh, right. No,
him.
that stand-up thing was
And the
noticeable.
punishment for not standing up was
him.
tasering him, which when you taser someone, they can be down for 15 minutes because it affects the central nervous system. So those police were actively torturing him
They
while
were
he was in
torturing him.
handcuffs.
And I think it's interesting that people are finally using YouTube for something other than basically posting something from the Daily Show. It's good to see that people are trying to use it for something political, regardless of what you think about the politics behind it. I think it's
There's a lot of political
interesting.
stuff out there. There's a lot of propaganda. If you look behind some YouTube videos that get millions of viewers, there's a PR firm or other kind of pusher
But these
out there. doing
these
this
are
video.
not, of course. This is just sort of grassroots journalism where
Right.
people have caught stuff on film and they want to get it out. And the news, the news stations are like, "Wow, this is something that we don't have. We want this." So I think it is an interesting moment for citizen journalism, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Peanut Butter Manifesto. Has anybody read this thing? There's one of the executives. What was the name of the movie where Tom Cruise was the sports guy? And then
Show Me the Money.
Yeah,
right.
what was the name of that
What
movie?
was the name of that? Cuba Gooding Jr. There you go.
Maguire. So we have the off-camera people know. Anyway, so the Jerry Maguire movie that started off with the premise where some guy who's pretty high up writes this memo about telling it like it is, and then he's out.
Yeah.
And this is what apparently looks like Brad Garlinghouse. Apparently, he's a senior vice president at Yahoo. Wrote this scathing memo called the Peanut Butter Manifesto because he kept equating the future of Yahoo with spreading peanut butter too thin on bread, which is hard to do if you've ever tried it.
Yeah, Yahoo has been accused of throwing spaghetti noodles at the wall, all the time, seeing if they stick. They try everything and they release things early and often. Google runs into problems with that too. Like people made a big deal out of their spreadsheet. Wow, the Google spreadsheet, but it turns out it's a 200 rows by 200 columns. It's ridiculous. So I mean, these big players out there, they've got to kind of have more focus, I think.
All right, we'll just go on to the next thing, which is Weird Geek Gifts, which is coming up, and we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back.
For the best prices on high-tech gadgets, shop.pcmag.com. Shop.pcmag.com lets you find, compare, and buy anything in seconds. Whether you're looking for a digital camera, computer components, or a new HD TV, you'll find everything you want at shop.pcmag.com. Shop.pcmag.com lets you compare prices from dozens of sites. No hidden charges, no hassles. Shop.pcmag.com to save cash. It's a source you can trust.
Want to know what's new now? Then join Jim Louderback and Patrick Norton as they tackle the latest technology news. They'll keep you informed with their weekly What's New Now podcast. Just go to what'snewnow.com and subscribe, or subscribe through iTunes.
Hey, welcome back to Cranky Geeks. We've got gadgets that we're going to be doing a lot of these, by the way, I think before the end of the year. And this is one of them, which is a stuffy pillow. And if you turn it on, it actually works.
I don't think our strategy ever was, or if it was, it should have been.
Somebody's
That
podcast,
we
apparently.
would
Let's
just, bring them economic
I can-
freedom, and that would be.
How do you?
That sounds
how
like
do you
Bill
scroll
Clinton.
through?
I don't know.
This,
You just start punching buttons.
Seems like a really well-designed
This is
product.
great. So one of the other things we got here, which this is not something I like. This is this is at HIMEYASHOP.com. Jaime a shop. Okay. Well, anyway, it's a duck that you can here it going. It vacuums your keyboard because especially if you're a Macintosh user.
Or it takes lint off your sweater.
The keyboard probably gets pretty lint-ridden because of the nature of the environment.
that's just crap.
Cool, huh? I think this is cool.
No,
She thinks it's crap.
No, that's
dual
just
purpose, right?
ridiculous. Come on.
I'm trying to. There we go.
You look a little bit like Felix Unger using that thing. You know, it's a little bit
I don't
over the
know.
top.
Hey, duck. So now, just another thing. This is the kind of thing that's kind of useless to me. Can you hear this?
I just want to point out to the viewers at home that this is a 1980 version Cylon. Okay, this is a Centurion Cylon snowman. It's not up to date. It has nothing to do with the new show, which we all know is better than the old show.
Is it really?
It is, and hopefully you'll get hate mail when I say that because people feel very strongly.
This just comes from Think Geek.
This is terrible.
It's the point is it's $15. The other the little duck was 21, by the way. It's a USB snowbot. I don't know, what is the point of it?
The point of it is to make you mad because it isn't even the right kind of Cylon noise. What the hell?
It's to keep you sufficiently annoyed.
Yeah, exactly. It's for torturing people in retail environments.
Well, let's go to this. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Now, this is one of the things you should all think about getting. This is at the SwissKnifeShop.com. It's a Swiss Army knife memory key, which has a...
what, does it have, a pop-out USB?
Yeah, it's got a little pop-out thing, I think. I haven't seen this before, so I don't know how to do it. I just stabbed myself.
Wow.
Let's see.
Try to take that on the airplane. Sorry.
Well, no, it doesn't have a knife.
It doesn't matter. They'll never.
They're not going to let you take that.
They're not going to care. They're going to be like, oh, sure, it doesn't.
Well, anyway,
it's in the same. It's in the same genus.
There it is.
Genus,
okay, pull this back and boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's good. I'll take that.
Yeah, you can take over a whole.
It's got like a small poke you in the eye thing and this.
What do you
come
need the pokey thing for?
That doesn't make sense. This is not a good product. But you can get one if you want. They're $90. It's too high. This is the Bekatan Ghost Radar. I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
you search for ghosts. You're supposed to push this thing.
It's for detecting ghosts.
And it lights up. And if it blinks red, there's a ghost around. See, it's green. There's no ghost yet. I know this studio's haunted, so one could show up at any time. This is obviously some Japanese thing that, and it's $21 at again HIMEYA shop, the Himea shop, which I don't know what that means.
Scrolls right off the tongue.
HIMEYASHOP. Yeah, it doesn't scroll off at all. Okay, and we're moving along. This is a pretty good show. We got a lot of kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, depends on what you think cool is. Here's the Ultraman USB memory set, $77. Again from, what is this Himea shop? Why is this guy getting all these publicity?
It's Ultraman, don't question.
Okay. Ultraman, we got
I used to watch
Ultraman rocks.
Police are
totally,
here,
yeah.
so we always know what's hot and what's not. This is the Ultraman USB. It's an Ultraman memory ballpoint pen and book clip. So you get this, it's an Ultraman deal for total nerd geeks.
Hey,
it would
be even better if it was Giant Robot, though. Yeah. Can you imagine a Giant Robot?
And it's
Giant Robot.
just $77. All right. All right, last on the agenda for, we got more stuff.
We got more stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's plenty of stuff.
way
Okay,
cooler
here's the
stuff.
stash card, secret stash in your notebook. Wonder if customs officials know about this. $10 from stashcard.com. Oh, sorry. Stash card. This, if I can get that stash card, you go like this. You can put in. You can put in a
business card.
I don't know.
I think it's a little too small for business cards.
It's too small for anything. I suppose it's for whatever. It says stash. I'm not sure what that means.
Ganja.
Do you think it's made of lead so that it can't be X-rayed?
It's bullshit. Weird geeky gifts gadgets. The human thumb drive. This is funny. This is a thumb. That's a thumb drive. Get it? So
Stick it in your ear.
stick it in. It's probably got. You stick it in there and you get a thumb.
Yeah, it
lights
I
up.
like it. Yeah, no, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
It does light
It
up.
could be a kind of a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of gift.
You know what I would do?
Severed finger.
I would cut the thumb thing off and then put a real thumb on it. That'd be kind
or
of
a
neat.
nose.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay, here. Or do you want to
Well,
look
let's
at that
get
first?
quick.
Yeah, do
Quick.
that.
We're just going to blow through these. This is the USB mini desk aquarium, and this plugs in to the USB. And apparently, this USB, just because it's got a little look at that. You get a shot of that? Look at that, huh? man, that's just like the real thing.
Yeah. They should ship it with a couple little fishing poles.
Who needs real fish?
Who needs real fish when you got this? This would be good to take on the airplane, except for the liquid laws now. They won't let you do anything.
It reminds me of those After Dark screensavers that everybody used to have with the fish on their screen that would go like...
Oh, yeah.
So, see, the kind of junk they make in China nowadays is dirt cheap. Okay, you've got something.
Okay, right here, I have brought in something that sadly you cannot buy for the holidays because it's still in beta hardware. This is called a Chumby. It's a wireless device. It sits on your network. And it has a squeeze interface, which I love, so you can see that when I'm squeezing it.
Show it to this camera over here.
Show it to this camera.
It has a back door that you can enable by typing a Fibonacci
So you
sequence.
squeeze it.
You squeeze it and you get into your menu. Now the exciting thing is this is entirely open hardware, which means you can get the schematic. Most of the software is open, and all of the widgets for it are designed by users. And so you can do things like, because it sits on your wireless network, you can stream an RSS feed to it, you can stream your Flickr stream to it, you can get headlines from Slashdot, you can play music, you can turn it into a digital clock, which is what we have here because we're not actually on a network. So sadly, you can't see all the neat stuff. The other thing is...
How much is it?
It's about $150. And Chumby Industries, which makes it, you can find them at chumby.com, is partly run by Bunny Huang, who you may remember from Hacking the Xbox fame, as well as Joe Grand, who's a hardware hacker. And basically their idea was they wanted to have an object that they encouraged people to take apart. So unlike most consumer electronics where they say, don't open up the package, don't do anything, or you void your warranty, they say, rip it apart, rip this casing off, install this into a stuffed animal, whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's totally open.
Okay, well, we have to take a break because we're not that open.
Chumby.
And we'll be right back with more right after this.
Can't get enough video gaming in your life? Check out Electronic Gaming Monthly, your #1 source to the wonderful world of video games. It's filled with in-depth features, exclusive previews, and our world-famous no-holds-barred 3-person reviews. EGM has it all. Just surf on over to egm.oneup.com to subscribe. Need even more? Tune into our weekly podcast, EGM Live, available at egmlive.oneup.com or the iTunes Music Store.
Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about what to buy or not to buy this holiday season. By the way, give me that thing. So off camera, these guys are talking about this stash thing here, which is like, I can imagine, the thing is, if you're going to put drugs in something, I can't even open it. If you're going to put drugs in something and try to smuggle it into a laptop, you just get your laptop confiscated, and dogs can smell through that stuff.
Yeah, this is just for keeping fruit leather or something.
I don't know what it's good for. Anyway, what to buy or not to buy this holiday season? Blu-ray or DVD? We're going to go through a few items. What are you going to do? If you have a choice, you're going to go buy a Blu-ray, you're going to buy an HD DVD.
HD DVD?
Tomorrow.
I already have one, yeah, totally.
Why?
Yeah. Why? Because it's going to win the war against Blu-ray.
You don't know that.
I'm not buying either one. There's no way I'd buy either one of them right now.
Well,
if I had to, I'd buy HD DVD.
Yeah, I already have an Xbox 360, so I've got my HD right there. So.
Did you get the add-on already for it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did?
Well, kinda.
You didn't?
Let's
Okay.
pass over that.
I definitely encourage people to visit adbusters.com and participate in Buy Nothing Day, because if you really want to show your love for someone, you should make them something, not just give them consumer gifts.
Or download something for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go back to the question. If you were going to buy, after taking the day off, HD DVD or Blu-ray, which one would you buy?
Whichever one supports an open format that would allow me to basically produce my own pornography. That's the most important thing, because if it doesn't allow for pornography, then it's going to fail. It's absolutely going to fail. Pornography absolutely drives technology forward.
Okay, that's bull.
No, we're actually monochrome. Monochrome is actually, that's why VHS.
They always say that.
I've heard this argument.
VHS.
So I'd actually like to invite you.
Porn leads technology. Porn leads.
I'd like to invite you. We're having
porn leads to love, and love leads to divorce.
You might be interested in this. We're having a conference in San Francisco.
Promoted by the pornography industry just to gain some attention.
I'd actually like
Seriously.
We, Monochrome, the group that I represent today, it's actually having a conference here in San Francisco. You may have heard of Ars Electronica. We're having Ars Electronica here in town.
A pun.
No pun. It's absolutely
That's
serious.
a pun.
Oh,
Come on.
okay, it's a pun. You got it. Good. That's good.
Oh, please. All right, let's go on. The next thing, besides your self-promotion there, let's go on. PS3 or Wii? Which one are you going to buy?
I'm not going to buy either one.
I buy the Wii for sure. The Wii is $295. It's cheap and it's great. I've played the tennis and the boxing. They're awesome.
Okay, and you wait, and don't say Wii, just one of the two, the Wii or the PS3.
I would buy neither of them.
Okay, you're not going to buy anything.
He's going to come
from
over to my house and play Xbox.
If it doesn't have Pong, I don't know why I would want it.
I know.
Okay, next.
You're a retro gamer.
Next,
huh?
we're going to get nothing out of him. Video iPod or Zune?
Oh, come on. Video iPod. I already have a video iPod.
What's wrong with the Zune?
What isn't wrong with the Zune?
Yeah, what isn't wrong with the Zune? Even Bill Gates is sad about the Zune.
No, the Zune is all right. The Zune has Wi-Fi, so you can trade songs back and forth.
Yeah, but it encumbers it with
I can
DRM,
do
and
that
it takes
anyway.
files that say are shared.
But
as
you
a
can
creative-
try the songs. You can try them for 3
this
plays,
is
so
how
at least you can hear them.
This is how the kids are sharing things these days. You go to a cafe, you see what other people have with using your iTunes, and then you go up to them with a hard drive, a USB hard drive, and you say, "Oh, can I have all the music from your computer that I just saw?"
Yeah.
You don't need a Zune.
Yeah, and the
a
Zune
hard
encumbers
drive.
things with DRM, so it basically takes
Yeah,
free media
terrible.
and makes it non-free, including Creative Commons music that Microsoft has no right to DRM protect. So
They can do whatever they want.
yeah, it's a piece of crap.
They have
though.
right to DRM protect it.
I wouldn't say they have the right to do it. I think that
They
they're
have the right.
all right. Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely.
They have the right to not play it. They have the right to not make the device defective.
And the right to taser anyone who disagrees.
Yeah,
Taser
and
on
consumers
YouTube.
have the right to throw it in the trash.
Tasering consumers.
If it's brown, flush it. Coming up, we're going to take another break here. Coming up, does RIAA restitution violate the Constitution? We're going to answer that question right after this message.
Do you own a PlayStation 2 or PSP? Do you have to have the latest info on the PS3? Then you need to read the official US PlayStation magazine, the #1 PlayStation authority. Loaded with sizzling hot previews, reviews, and features, OPM keeps you on top of what's happening in the PlayStation universe. Plus, each issue ships with a DVD chock full of playable demos, game videos, and exclusives you won't find anywhere else. And don't forget to tune in to the Radio OPM podcast every Thursday at radiopm.oneup.com for more exciting PlayStation news and views straight from the mouths of OPM's editors.
Looking for a gadget guide?
Breathe.
Log on to gearlog.com.
Right on.
Gearlog's got tech news and reviews, roller skating robots, iPod toilet paper holders, and hacker-proof passport wallets. Gearlog.com, the gadget blog for geeks, by geeks.
Can you dig it?
Welcome back to Cranky Geeks. We've got a lot of cranks here today, to say the least. We do want to make a correction from the last segment. Sebastian had the price. I didn't catch it. I wasn't paying attention, apparently, because I really don't care what you have to say. But which is that
The Wii is $250.
right, and we actually bought all these Wii controllers too, and one of them lights up for some
I
unknown
want to
reason.
point out that these Wii controllers look a little bit like sex toys. We were talking about
Teledildonics.
Teledildonics. This is,
Oh,
look,
please.
come on, what is this? Hello.
It's a gyroscope. You guys have a dirty
Sex
mind.
toy.
That's all I know. RIAA restitution violates the Constitution. A federal court in Brooklyn has granted Marie Lindor the right to try to prove that the RIAA is in violation of the Constitution. This is a good one. Lindor says the RIAA's claim of $750 per song in statutory damages violates its due process clause, and Lindor says she has evidence that the actual wholesale price of song downloads is only 70 cents. Record labels must now turn over all relevant documents, it's called discovery, and it's a pain, regarding the legal price of downloads to the court. Have you been following this,
Yeah,
Sebastian?
I completely agree with this lady. It's true. I mean, if you think about it, go buy a song for 99 cents. It doesn't all go in one place. The true value to the recording industry of that tune is about 70 cents.
Right.
So,
So if you
what right
steal
do they
the
have
song,
going out there charging
$750
for $750
over
a song?
1,000 times more.
It's
than what
ridiculous.
the song is,
Or 100,000.
1,000 times more than what it's worth.
So I mean, her point is a good one. She's saying the song has a certain amount of intrinsic financial value, and the punishment for going and getting it illegally should bear some relationship to that intrinsic value.
Yeah,
I
right.
think
If you
it's
steal
great.
chewing gum, would you be a felon?
Thrown in jail for life for that, or what?
Well, only if you copied the chewing gum and tried to share copies of the chewing gum. But I think this is great. I mean, the idea of a constitutional challenge to what the RIAA has been doing is really intriguing. And
the RIAA has
see more people doing that.
I agree.
They're punishing people all out of proportion with the alleged crimes that they're committing.
Exactly. What they are scare tactics. You know, they don't want to go after everybody. They want to go after the people they go after hard.
They want to make examples.
It's meant to be scary.
It's like you think that they are the IRS or something, trying to make examples out of people. But this is this is not a government agency.
Right.
Yeah. Cory Doctorow actually posted something great on Boing Boing today about the RIAA. That it's actually toilet paper, so you can show your disdain for them. It's just their name printed over and over again, RIAA, all through the entire roll. And I think that's a great way to protest this. Well, check out boingboing.net. Yeah. It's like the first link on top.
Sounds like something worth selling. You know, if you want to make a political comment while in the bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phishing doubles in 2 years. According to Gartner, phishing scams have doubled in the last 2 years. About 109 million adults in the U.S. alone received phishing emails in 2006, as opposed to 57 million. Who's keeping track of these numbers? In 2004, the study also says phishing attacks netted more than 2.8 billion. So this is working.
Yeah, they have tracked that where a lot of these phishing messages are coming from to a Russian network of bots. Too. It's basically some malware that goes out, knocks out other malware, and they have something like 70,000 computers participating in this. So a ton of the new phishing scams come from that network. It's really sophisticated and huge.
If you're interested in actually knowing about real hard statistics that are actually open and verifiable, you could check out fishtank.com. It's an open, collaborative platform for understanding phishing scams.
And it's spelled P HISH for people who are out there who have to
fishtank.com, yeah, right. And so it's a product provided by OpenDNS, but it's entirely open. There's a Firefox plugin, so if you visit a site, it'll check it against the Fishtank database to say, oh, yeah, this is a phishing site. Yeah. And if you actually use OpenDNS for your DNS, then it'll block the phishing site before you get to it. But there's also plugins for email clients, so it'll scan the incoming email. So this is really useful, and they also publish open statistics that show where the geolocation of the scammers are, where they actually are in the world. Yeah. And the other thing that's really nice is that it's completely free. Unlike a lot of the other phishing working groups, which are just completely bogus and you have to pay thousands of dollars to join, this is something you can give to your grandmother for Christmas. Just to set her up with Fishtank and you're done.
Yeah. You know what cracks me up about all the phishing messages is, have you ever looked at the English and the grammar in a lot of them? And they go to these great lengths to put the eBay logo in there, and then this first line says, "You must credit card me." You know, and that's what it says. Who believes the charm?
If you're official mails that have terrible grammar too.
If you're stupid enough to think that is from eBay, then you should be parted from your money. You know?
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, can I see your wallet?
So now here's a kind of an offbeat story. Larry King is apparently, he's never used the internet. I've been on a show a few, or I used to be when he was on the radio, and he's apparently never used the search engine, the Google, for example.
Right.
He says he doesn't even go. He says he doesn't do the search.
He doesn't do the internet.
The snippet with him, and Roseanne Barr was saying like, "I'll teach you. Don't worry. Just wear your glasses. It'll be okay." And he says, "Oh, only my wife likes to do that. You just hit a bunch of buttons, and I don't know."
How can you call yourself a journalist if you've never used a search engine?
He's an interviewer and he's a writer.
He's a journalist. He sits and interviews people, and the process he follows is somewhat like what we do.
You think it's important that everybody past the age of 40 or that needs to be all plugged in like we are?
Yeah, they need to be plugged in. Everybody
I don't
should
think
be
it's
plugged
even
in.
important. I think for the most part it wastes most of our time.
I don't think so at all. Are you joking? Internet search has improved your quality of life.
No, it hasn't. It's made me stay on the internet most of the time.
Well, it
makes you
keeping up with who's getting tasered.
Do some fact checking once in a while and do some blogging. But for the most part, I think we could do without it.
No, that's Luddite talking.
Yeah.
That is absolutely.
I'm on your side, Larry. I'm on your side.
I'm on Roseanne's side.
No, you would be. Anyway, that's about it. We're going to take off. We actually will be back next week, but this is our Thursday special, and we'll see you next week, and we'll have probably more gadgets the way things are going. I'm John C. Dvorak. This has been Cranky Geeks. Thanks for watching. followed it over the last week or so. There's been all these crazy lines, and what everybody does when they, and all the news people are covering all this stuff, and what everybody does is they interview people, and everybody says the same thing: I'm online for the last 3 days so I can sell this thing on eBay. Is anybody, Sebastian, buying this thing to actually use it?
Yeah, I don't know if they're buying it to use it. They sure are excited about it for some reason. People are lining up at 3 a.m. to get it. And one guy that was shot at 3 a.m. I remember. And I think this is all turning out to be another way to kind of go after Sony, really. You know, first they messed up the batteries. Now they got this brouhaha happening. It's just a disaster.
It's like the technology of death. You know, if you aren't blown up by your battery, you're going to get shot trying to get
one way or another, somebody's going to come after you.
Or they're going to install a rootkit on your computer when they get a chance.
Oh yeah, totally. A rootkit that explodes, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be the Sony
awesome
style.
Awesome one, yeah.
Oh yeah, right. A rootkit that catches on fire and shoots you.
Right. A shooter game.
I guess well, Sony's got. Does anybody? We talked about this last week, and obviously everyone's beating this to death because Sony took forever to bring this product out. But is anybody jazzed about it at all? You? No?
I'm not, no. I mean, I've got my Xbox 360, you know, Gears of War. What do I need the freaking PS3
Also, the PS3...
Hey, welcome to Cranky Geeks. I'm your host, John C. Dvorak, and this week we're talking about crazy gizmos, also the PS3 riots, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's introduce today's cranks first, starting with Sebastian Ruppli, who is the West Coast editor of PC Magazine and our chief crank, and the regular crank, as a matter of fact. Sitting on his right is Annalee Newitz, who's the editor of techsploitation.com. It's her website, which is spelled like it sounds. And finally, Jacob Appelbaum, who is now being, we're calling him the hair ambassador for Monochrome, which is or Monochrome, which is it? Monochrome? Monochrome, which is a something in Austria.
Yes, they're an artist group in Vienna, Austria.
Ah, okay. Or they would say Aquas. PS3 launches amongst riot shootings and armed robbery. The PS3 stores, if you haven't followed.
The games that I've seen, they look to be just higher resolution and not much more than that. You know, it's not like there's a revolution in the gaming. The Wii games that we showed last week, those are innovative games. I mean, Nintendo does innovative stuff, new stuff.
Well, Nintendo made a point to do that because they knew they weren't going to compete. I mean, right now, the way I see it, in fact, this week's PC Magazine column, I discussed this. I think people will own a Xbox or a PS3, and a Wii. I think that people will have dual consoles at home, or if they just have little kids, or they might just have the Nintendo, nothing else, because you don't necessarily need your 10-year-old to be playing